then. Every big construction job, it follows a kind of roadmap, right? A series of stages.
Pretty much. Think of it as 5 core phases that guide it from just an idea to, handing over the keys.
So what's first? The spark.
Phase 1 is initiating, or it's sometimes called pre-design. This is ground zero.
Yeah.
Evaluating the needs, the objectives. Is it even feasible?
So for our imaginary city hall, it's like, do we really need this? Can we afford it? What does it have to do?
Precisely. Defining goals, setting targets, getting that clarity up front is vital. If you mess this up, well, it causes problems later. Big problems.
Initiating. Got it. What's next?
Once you have the green light, you move into planning, pre-construction. This is where the real detailed work happens.
For blueprints.
Blueprints, yes.
Yeah.
But also schedules, cost plans, figuring out how you'll get materials, procurement planning. It's mapping out all the time, costs, resource stuff.
So initiating is the what, planning is the how.
You got it. And mistakes here, very expensive to fix once you start building.
I bet. So after all that planning,
Comes executing. Construction. This is the actual, hands-on building, breaking ground, pouring concrete, steel going up.
the noisy part.
The noisy part, yeah. And it's all based on the plans and, importantly, the contracts you set up back in the planning phase.
Okay. Makes sense. Phase 3.
But wait, there's another one that happens at the same time as executing.
Oh.
Monitoring and controlling. You can't just build and hope for the best. This is constant oversight. Watching the schedule, tracking costs against the budget, checking progress.
Keeping things on track.
Exactly. Catching problems early. It's like the project's conscience, always watching. You absolutely need this.
Right. Otherwise, things could go way off the rails.
Way off. And finally, phase 5, closing, post-construction.
Wrapping things up.
Yep. Final surveys, finishing all the paperwork, handing over the completed, building our city hall, and really importantly, documenting lessons learned.
So you don't make the same mistakes next time.
That's the idea. What worked, what didn't. That knowledge is gold for future projects.
So looking at those 5, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, closing, where do things most often go wrong, would you say?
Good question. Problems can pop up anywhere, obviously. But honestly, a lot of major headaches, especially cost overruns,
Yeah.
they often trace back to shaky planning, not enough detail, unrealistic assumptions, maybe designs that weren't fully thought through.
So starting off on the wrong foot.
Exactly. Or failing in monitoring and controlling, not catching those small slips that turn into big delays or budget blowouts. Vigilance is key.
It makes total sense. Okay, so we have the journey mapped out. Now the big question, money. How do we actually pay for our massive city hall? This gets into contracts, right?
Absolutely. And contracts aren't just about the price tag. They're fundamentally about how risk is shared between the owner, the city, and the contractor doing the building.
A game of risk transfer, you called it earlier?
It really is. The 2 main families are fixed price and cost reimbursable.
Okay, fixed price sounds, well, fixed.
It is, mostly. The cost is set up front based on complete plans and specs. The contractor only gets more money if there are necessary changes to the original scope.
What kinds of fixed price are there?
The most common is lump sum. One single total price for the whole job.
Simple enough.
For the contractor, it's an incentive to be efficient, finish early, maybe save cost, they keep the difference. But it's high risk for them. If things go wrong, costs spiral. That's on them.
And for the owner, the city.
Big plus. Cost certainty. They know the price tag. Almost no financial risk. The downside. Less flexibility to change things midstream, and maybe, just maybe, the contractor cuts corners on quality if they're squeezed.
Right. Quality versus cost.
And the big pain point, changes during construction, always leads to arguments, extra costs, change orders. You really need a solid, error-free design up front for lump sum to work smoothly.
Okay, what else under fixed price?
There's unit price. Here, the contractor bids per unit, like dollars per cubic meter of concrete board or per ton of steel erected.
So the total price depends on the actual amounts.
Exactly. Based on estimated quantities initially, but paid on actual quantities used. It's lower risk for the contractor than lump sum.
But maybe less incentive to finish fast.
Correct. For the owner, there's shared risk, more flexibility if quantities change.
Yeah.
But the total cost isn't certain until the end.
And potential problems.
Big one is errors in those estimated quantities. It can lead to something called unbalanced bids.
Unbalanced bids?
Yeah, a contractor might bid really low on units they think are underestimated to look cheap overall, but bid super high on units they know will actually need more quantity than estimated.
Sneaky.
It can really inflate the final cost for the owner if they're not careful reviewing every single unit price, a common trap.
Gotcha. Any others?
There's also schedule of rates, which is similar to unit price, basically a list of items with unit prices, often used for ongoing work, maintenance.
Okay, so that's fixed price. What about the other family? Cost reimbursable.
Right, cost reimbursable contracts. These are totally different. You use these when you kind of need to start building before the design is total lockdown.
Like for really complex projects. Or emergencies.
Exactly. The owner or city agrees to reimburse the contractor for all their actual legitimate costs, plus some kind of fee.
So the contractor sends in receipts, basically.
Sort of, yeah. It requires a lot of oversight from the owner. Subtypes include cost plus, that's actual costs, plus either a percentage of the costs as a fee or a fixed fee agreed up front.
What's the risk profile there?
For the contractor, in a pure cost plus, very little risk. They get paid for what they spend, but also maybe not much incentive to save money or finish early.
Unless there's a fixed fee, maybe.
Perhaps. Then there's guaranteed maximum price, or GMP. This is a hybrid.
Okay.
The contractor gets reimbursed for costs, but only up to an agreed maximum price, the GMP, if costs go over that.
Yeah.
The contractor usually eats the difference, unless the owner changes the scope.
Ah, so some risk shifts back to the contractor.
Right. It provides more cost certainty for the owner than pure cost plus. There's also something called a target cost contract, where if the contractor comes in under a target cost, they share the savings, encourages efficiency.
Interesting. So for the owner, cost reimbursable means more flexibility.
Huge flexibility. Start building early, change designs on the fly, great for innovation. But the downside, high financial risk. The final cost is uncertain.
And you need a big team watching the contractor's spending.
Absolutely. You need people on site, monitoring materials, measuring work, approving every invoice is demanding for the owner's team.
So across all these contract types, it really boils down to that trade-off, doesn't it? Risk versus flexibility versus cost certainty.
That's the core tension. Who holds the risk? How much flexibility do you need? How certain does the cost need to be upfront? Every project needs to find the right balance.
What's something unexpected that might push a project towards cost reimbursable, even with the higher risk for the owner?
Often, it's extreme innovation or complexity. If our city hall was using some brand new, untested green technology or had a really radical architectural design.
Hard to price up front.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Impossible to nail down all the costs perfectly beforehand. In that case, the flexibility of cost reimbursable to adapt and learn during construction might be way more valuable than trying to force a fixed price that's bound to be wrong.
That makes sense. It's about managing the unknowns. Okay, so we know the journey, we know how we might pay for it. What about how the project team is actually structured, the overall strategy? These are the delivery methods, right?
Exactly. Delivery methods define the relationships, the structure, how the owner, designer, and contractor work together, and they've evolved quite a bit.
Where did it start?
The classic is design, bid, build, DBB. Started way back, maybe the 1940s. It's sequential.
How so?
The owner of the city first hires a designer. They create the complete set of plans, finished, done. Then the city takes those plans out to bid and contractors compete for the construction job.
So design first, then build.
Yeah.
Separate contracts.
Yep. Separate contract for design, separate contract for construction. The owner gets cost certainty, supposedly, because the bid is on a finished design, and they have full control over that design.
Sounds straightforward. What's the catch?
The big drawback is it creates silos. The designer designs in isolation, then hands it off. The contractor who has to build it wasn't involved.
Leads to problems.
Often, yeah. Inefficiencies, finger pointing if something's wrong with the plans, change orders. It can be slow, too, because it's strictly sequential. Best for simple projects where you don't expect changes.
Okay, DBB. What came next? How did it evolve?
In the 60s, construction management, CM, emerged. Here, the owner brings in a construction expert, the CM, much earlier, often during design.
To advise.
To advise, coordinate, manage schedule and cost. There are two main flavors. First is CM agent.
Agent, like a representative?
Kind of. The CM acts purely as the owner's advisor. They manage things, but they don't hold the construction contracts or the financial risk. The owner still contracts directly with the designer, the CM, and all the individual trade contractors.
So the owner keeps all the risk.
Yep. The owner has full control, gets expert advice, but holds the risk. Left cost certainty up front because trade contracts come later, often used for public projects like our city hall might be.
Okay, CM agent. What's the other flavor?
CM at risk, or CMR. This is different. The CMAR acts more like a general contractor. They commit to delivering the project, usually for a guaranteed maximum price, GMP.
Ah, the GMP again?
Right. The CMIR provides input during design, then manages construction, hires all the subcontractors, and takes on the risk of cost overruns beyond the GMP, unless the owner changes scope.
So the owner has one contract with the designer, one with the CMR.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
And the CMAR holds the risk for construction cost and schedule. This gives the owner more cost certainty earlier on, and you get that valuable contractor input during design.
Better for complex projects.
Often, yes. Large, complex jobs where you want cost control and early builder involvement benefit from CMAR. Both CM approaches are usually faster than DBB because the builder's involved earlier.
Okay, so DBB, then CM, what else?
Then we have design build, DB. This really shakes things up.
How so?
One single entity, one single contract for the owner covers both design and construction.
Wow, streamlined.
Very. The city signs one contract with the design build firm. It's much faster because design and construction can overlap significantly fast-tracking.
Less owner control over design details, maybe?
Potentially, yes. But communication is simpler. Collaboration between the design and construction folks is built in because they're on the same team. Great for speed.
Okay, design build. Seems like we're getting more integrated.
Exactly. And the most integrated is the newest approach, developed around the 90s, integrated project delivery.
IPD. What's the goal here?
To tackle the lingering problems, costs, overruns, delays, sometimes quality issues seen even in DBB and CM. IPD aims for maximum collaboration and efficiency.
How does it work?
All the key players, owner, designer, main contractor, even major subcontractors, join in a single multi-party contract right from the start.
Everyone in one boat.
Literally, shared risk, shared reward. It fosters intense collaboration. All phases blend together seamlessly. It's potentially the fastest method.
Costs are optimized how?
Through that shared risk and constant collaboration, everyone's incentivized to find savings and efficiencies together. The owner is deeply involved in decisions.
Sounds ideal for really complex stuff.
Exactly. High complexity projects where you really need to minimize waste, maximize value, foster innovation. But there's a potential wrinkle mentioned in the source material.
Oh.
Despite all the collaboration and efficiency gains, the source suggests that sometimes, maybe because of the speed or shared responsibility, the final quality in IPD might not reach the same level as a meticulously managed DBD or CM project.
Huh. That's counterintuitive. More collaboration doesn't automatically mean better quality in every single aspect.
It seems there might be a trade-off there sometimes, according to this perspective, something to be aware of.
Really interesting. So looking across this evolution, DBB, CM, DB, IPD, what's the single biggest shift in thinking, the core difference as you move towards IPD?
I'd say it's the fundamental shift from adversarial relationships to collaborative partnerships.
Explain that.
Well, DBB almost sets up the designer and contractor as opponents, separated by contracts and timing. CM brings them closer. DB puts them on the same team. IPD forces them, and the owner, and key subs into one truly unified team with shared goals and shared stakes.
So it moves from protecting your own turf
to maximizing the project's success together. It's moved from managing risk through separation to managing risk through integration and shared incentives. A totally different mindset.
That change in mindset must impact everything on the ground.
Fascinating. So we've covered a lot of ground here. The project journey and phases.
Initiating to closing.
The money side with different contract types, balancing risk and cost.
Fixed price versus cost reimbursable, yeah.
And finally, these overarching delivery methods that structure how everyone works together, from siloed to super collaborative.
DBB all the way to IPD.
It really gives you a framework for understanding these huge undertakings. And it leads to a really important question for you listening. How does understanding these distinctions, the difference between a contract type focused on price and risk, and a delivery method focused on team structure and collaboration?
عندي في النهاية الأسئلة التالية وهي ما هو البي او تي وإيه الفرق بينه وبين التورنكي والإي بي سي وأخيرا هل هي عقود كونتراكت تايب ولا ديليفري ميثود وأخيرا ما هو الفروق أو الفرق بين الكونتراكت تايب والديليفري ميثود. هنشوف سؤال نبتدي بالسؤال الأولاني. البي او تي هو إيه؟ هو بي او تي انكلود اوبريشن اند ريفينيو جنريشن. هو ده ماشي؟ يعني يبقى شغل المشروع واكسب منه، ده اسمه بي او تي بعد الهاند اوفر. جميل جدا. هل هو اختصار لحاجة معينة؟ Yes it is. هو باختصار اسمه Build Operate Transfer. جاي من اسمه Build وبعدين Operate، أبني الأول وبعدين أشغل وبعدين أكسب منه. ماشي أو ترانسفير يعني. خلاص؟ ده الاختصار بتاع بي او تي. فعشان نهرب من حته التعريفات الكتيره، الترنكي زي ما قلنا بنسلم الحاجه ريدي تو يوز على طول، بس اطلع منها ماليش دعوه بقى، الكلاينت هو اللي بيكسب منها. الاي بي سي مور فوكس على التكنيكال والانجينيرنج والبروكيورمنت والكونستراكشن اللي في الايه، اللي عمليه التسليم نفسها. السؤال اللي بعد كده كان السؤال اللي بيقول ادي المقارنات، هل هم ديليفري ميثودز ولا هم كونتراكت تايب؟ قلنا له لا، دي كلهم ديليفري ميثود، بسلم بالطريقه ديت، بسلم اما كذا او كذا اللي شفناهم من شويه، بي او تي او تي تيرنكي او اي بي سي. السؤال الاخير هو ما هي الفروق بين الكونتراكت تايب والديليفري ميثود؟ الكونتراكت تايب زي ما قلنا من شويه هو نوع العقد، ازاي باخد البيمنت نفسها، وازاي الفاينانشال بتاع المشروع بيتم، والريسك اللي جاي من خلالها سواء على المالك او على الكونتراكتور. الدليفري ميثود هي ازاي بسبمت البروجكت، ازاي بعمل له هاند اوفر واسيبه واسلمه للكلاينت بتاعي او اشغله انا. ادينا اكزامبل على الكلام ده هوت عشان نشوف، بس مثلا هنعمل هوسبيتال، بيلدينج هوسبيتال، اذا استخدمت لامسم كونتراكت، الكونتراكتور اجري على فيكسد برايس، خلاص هو بيقول هبنيها بكذا. if you choose design built بقى، ده يبقى ده كونتراكت وده delivery method، ماشي. اذا انت خدت design and build as a delivery method، هي دي delivery method، يبقى entirely handles مالها both design and construction، هتكون مسؤوليه الكونتراكت، ماشي. وبالتالي تجمع الاثنين على بعض، تقول design and build زائد لامسم كونتراكت هو كونتراكت واحد for all with fixed price. اذا المقاول اللي بياخد الحاجه design and build وبياخدها لام سم، هو يبقى عقد واحد بيشمل الحاجتين دول. يبقى كده بس سهلنا الصوره بتاعت design build with respect to الكونتراكت.